Guys, you highly welcome back to Eminence Stitches channel. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you are watching this channel for the first time, quickly press the red button and don't forget to turn off the notification bell, so whenever new videos are uploading on this channel, you will be among the first people to be notified. Thank you very much. Today we are sharing a tutorial on how to make a jumpsuit. So I'll be using this African prints. I have 3 yards here with me. Then the measurements needed are this. I'll be doing now, I'll be folding my fabric into. So I've folded my fabric into 2, as you can see. Here is it. I folded it into 2. So the first thing now is to mark my measurement. So now this guideline, I'll quickly place my half length, then I'll measure down the length of my jumpsuit to the ankle. So I'll take the length of my trouser. So the next thing to do now is to divide our hip circumference by 4. Our hip circumference divided by 4 will give us 10.5 because the hip I'm working with is 4. But for this tutorial, I'll be dividing my hip circumference measurement by 4. So that will give me 10.5. So 10.5, that 10.5, because we are making jumpsuit plus 3 inches. So that will give me 13.5. So now I'll be marking my 13.5 here. So I'll be using 12.5 instead of 13.5. So on that point now, I will extend the point. That's going to be our flap. I have extended it. So after done with that, from this point, just measure whatever you get left down here. So indicate the middle and come up by 1.5 inches. Or 2. You could make it 2, then you could, but I'm using 1.5 for this tutorial. Then that is going to be my knee length. So here is my knee length. So after done with that, I'm coming back here. So on this my crush line, I'll be marking 1/2 inch out like this. Hope you can see. That is, I marked that one for an X. So on this line now, I will be measuring my hip my 1/4 of my hip circumference measurements. So on this waistline, I will be putting my tape measure. Like, mark that 1/4 of your hip circumference measurement on your waistline, like so. I've marked it. So on this line now, you now marked in your waist circumference measurement. The waist I'm working with is 34. So the 1/4 of 34 will be 8.5 inches. So just mark it here. Don't forget we added ease to this side. Let's also add 1/2 inch for ease for our waist here. Then after done with that, I'll be using my pants. After done with that now, we are going to connect this place to this place. That is crush line to our waistline. So after done with that, as we know that we determine our crush extension by the biggest parts of our measurement, and the largest part of this measurement is our thigh. Our thigh divided by 2, we give, our thigh is 24 divided by 2 will give us 12. So I'll be inserting 12 inches, mind you, excluding this 1/2 inch that we added for ease. You understand? We are not going to include it with this. Just place your tape measure on your hip circumference measurement like so. Then mark forward like I did your 12 inches. I'll be marking it here. This is my 12 inches for the tie measurements. So just curve your hand small. Just curve your hand small, because if you make this curve big, it can lead to too much of your flap and you won't like the outcome. So you just come outside like 3/4, like so, then you curve it. Hope you can see I have curved this. So I'm done with that. So after done with that, now it depends on how you want it to be. If you really want it to be free, even the trendy jumpsuit they are making as the bogus down part, you understand? If you really want it bogus, we don't need to divide our circumference, our knee circumference measurement or our ankle circumference measurement. We can equally blend it down like this. But for more clarification, that one is very simple. Let me do the necessary thing. So here at this length, divide whatever you get here by 2. Including your crotch, whatever you get here, divide it by 2. That is the middle. So the middle now is 6.25. That is 6 1/4. So you continue measuring that 6 1/4 like so. That is my knee. Then on my ankle, you measure 6.25. When you are done with that, then connect it together like so. What we are doing. So after done with this, then you divide your circumference measurement into 2. Our knee circumference measurement is 18 divided by 2. So we place it like this, just like we want to cut normal trouser. I'm trying to divide half of 18. So you just place it on this middle line, then mark whatever you get at the both side. Here I got 4.5. So at the ankle I have 14. My ankle circumference measurement is 14. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7. 7 divided by 2, we are getting 3.5. So I'm sharing that 3.5 at the both side. As we can see, the next thing is to connect our ankle to the knee. I'll be using my pant cuff now to do the finishing. So from my knee now, I will be connecting it to my crotch extension here. As we can see. Then for the back part, shift up your hand a bit with this ruler, then you connect it like so, as you can see. Then you connect it like so. Here is our front part. What I'll be doing now, I'll be cutting it out. I've folded the back panel. The next thing now is to draw my butt right. I have 1.5 inch here. From that butt right point, I will be placing the front panel. So now after done placing it, the next thing you are going to mark 1 inch on this waistline for your hip, for your dart. For the back dart, I have added it. So now the next thing I will be adding sewing allowance for the back panel on the flap area. Like I'm doing, I will mark 1.5 all through. What I did, I divided 1/4 of my hip circumference, that is 10.25. I divided it by 2. Then I placed the whole of my hip, 1/4 of my hip circumference measurement back onto that middle point, the half of it. So I now mark it front to the front like this. I mark it to the front like this, which is this, which I marked here for our crotch extension for the back. After done with that, then you extend that line towards this place. Just mark it front like this, then you connect it with this cuff. So the next thing I'll be doing, I'll be connecting this buttright to the side of my pants trouser. So now just place your ruler like so, then you connect it together like that. Now I'm done with that. So the next thing now is to add our sewing allowance. I'll be adding my sewing allowance to this side all through 2 inches for my allowance. Then I will add it on my ankle as well. So I'll be connecting this place to my knee length. So after done with that, the next thing is to cut out the down part of our jumpsuit. So I'll be marking my dart for the back parts. Just fold it like this and notch the middle. Then place your tape measure, mark down 4 inches like so. Then from the both sides, you mark off of an inch. Then you slantly connect your hands towards the points you made at first. As you can see, this is going to be our dart. So after done with that, now in this tutorial we are using Inseam Pockets. This pocket will be different to the one I did in our previous tutorial on how to make trouser or female trouser pants. So now I will be coming down from my waist. I will mark 1.5 inch like so. Then on that 1.5 inch, just mark down 7 inches for the pockets. So I will just notch it like so. So now I've folded my fabric to continue with the upper parts. The first thing I will be doing, I will be cutting the front panel first. It's still okay. So the next thing I will be marking my shoulder to shoulder measurements. Then after done with that, my armhole. Then after done with that, my arm length, my bust point, then my underbust. We don't need it, but I'll just mark it for us to see. So on this chest line, I'm going to be inserting my half of my back measurement. That is my shoulder to shoulder measurement. So just from this shoulder line, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. Out of that 1 inch, I'll be taking half of an inch for sewing allowance. So for the neck, I'll be marking 3 inches for the standard neck. Then later I can extend it. I will be extending it. So here I will divide whatever I get here on this armhole line, then indicate the middle like so. So from that middle, I will be marking in 3/4. That is 0.75 inch. Then I will connect it to the chest line. After done with that, just connect it like so to the upper side. So I'm done with that. So here I'll be inserting 1/4 of my bust circumference measurements. Be 9.5 plus sewing allowance. I'll be using 2 inches for my sewing allowance all through. Then my under bust, we don't need under bust. I just need my waist circumference measurement. My waist circumference measurement is 34. That 34 is going to give me, the 1/4 will give me 8.5, which I'm marking here, plus 3 inches. Ask me why. The reason why I added 3 inches for the sewing allowance for this place, I'll be using 1 inch for our darts, while the 2 inches will be for the sewing allowance. So the next thing is to connect. I'll be marking the type of neck that I want, 6.5 inches. I'm making a V-neck. So now I'll be marking 3.5 for my neck width. No, I told us I just use standard measurements. I just want it to be a sharp V, a bit curve on my neck, as we are not cutting it together. The reason why I don't cut it together, it's because of that pattern on our fabric. Let me cut the leg so we can see what I'm trying to tell us. It's not that sharp, and the pattern that I want at the front is there. So for the back now, there's some changes that we have front and the back panel. Now here is my back panel. Here is the zipper allowance. This is going to be our zipper allowance. So now what I'll be doing, just mark your shoulder measurements like so. Then I use 3.5 for the neck width for the front, so I'll be using same thing here. For the back neck depth, I'll be using 2 inches. Make a circle at the back like so. Then I will be marking my shoulder slope. Then you connect it like so. So after done with that, I'll be inserting my armhole. So on that armhole line, I'm going to be marking half of my shoulder length. Sorry. When I mark that, then whatever I get here indicates the middle. Just indicate the middle like so. So on this middle that we have indicated, just place your tape measure marking 0.5. That is half of an inch, or you marking 1/4. But here I'll be using 0.5. So after done with that, connect it with your armhole cuff to the down parts like so. Then for the upper side, I'll be using the straight part of my ruler to connect it upward, as we can see. Then I will be inserting my bust circumference measurements like so, plus 2 inches for sewing allowance like we did to the front. Then for my waist, I will be marking 1/4 of my waist circumference, which is 8.5 inches, plus 3 inches for sewing allowance at the waistline because of our darts. Then next thing, you connect it and cut and then I slit this place open. So the next thing, now I'll be placing the front and the back panel together. Here is the back, then this is our front, as we can see. So before cutting the facing, I have to cut the sleeve. This is the remaining fabric. I'll be folding it. Now to cut our sleeve, the first thing now is to minus this edge from our fabric. I've minused it. Then I will start my sleeve length from that place. I added 1 inch for sewing allowance. I added 1 inch for sewing allowance. So now from here, from this upper side, this is going to be the upper side of my sleeve. Just measure down 4 inches. The reason why I'm using 4 inches, my bust circumference divided by 12 plus 1.5 will give me this, or plus 1, I mean, will give me this. So that is my cap height. So on this cap height, I'll be marking my round sleeve. My round sleeve is 14. So if you don't know how we got cap height, all these things, then you go and watch that previous video on how to draft a basic sleeve. Then you will understand all the magic we are doing right now. So now for the wrist, my wrist is 10. I'll be marking it here plus sewing allowance. Then you connect it to this side. Please, if you find this video helpful, please kindly give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to support this channel. Share this video, like it, and make sure you drop your comments. I really want to read from you guys. Let me know where and what to do. Thank you very much. Very beautiful. This the front pattern facing blouse, the front part of my blouse, just place it like this. Make sure it's accurate at this fold part like this. Then next thing, you cut out this. Just cut out the way it is. After done cutting it out like this, place your tape measure, mark down 3 inches or 2.5, like so. I'm teaching you how to cut facing, just like that. Then connect those points like I'm doing. I'm trying to connect those points. I've connected it. Then the next thing, you cut it out. The next thing, you cut it out like I'm doing. Cut on our blouse. We just stitch it with the front panel. The right side of your facing, we face the right side of your front panel. Then you stitch it like this. The purpose of this is just to conceal the seam inside. You understand? Then you use it to conceal your seam inside like so. You understand? Beautiful idea. So now for the back, let me look for a bit wide fabric. Trim the front. Make sure it's accurate. When you're done with that, just trace out the shape of the neck you have cut early, then trace it out. After done with that, you mark 3 inches like I did to the front panel. So now here is the outcome. Very beautiful. As you can see, this is beautiful, and this is also going to stitch with the back panel like this. You understand? So for the pockets, I told us about inseam pockets. Yeah, to cut our inseam pocket, just fold your fabric like this. Fold it like this. I'll be folding this into 2 because it's not enough, so I'll be joining it later. Supposed to fold it into 4. So now just put your hand like this. You understand? Put your hand like this. Then you start, not that you move the shawl closer to your hand, just give it a space, give it some space like that. Depends on how deep you want your pocket to be. Yeah, as you can see, what I traced out is already looking in form of pocket self. So now what I'll be doing, I'll just cut it out like this. Here is it. So after done cutting it, the next thing is to indicate which place is going to be the down or the upper part. As it is now, as you can see it, this longer side will be the upper part. Let me notch it so I won't get confused when I get on machine. That's going to be the upper part. Then I will be using these pieces to cut the remaining 2. Thanks for watching this video. Please, if you are watching this channel for the first time, please subscribe to support Eminent Stitches channel. What we are going to do to stitch our jumpsuit, we are going to hem the edge of our facings like this, just folding half of an inch, fold it inside like this, and you hem it inside. So after done with that, then you will now place your facing on your fabric like this. Then you run a stitch down like this to the other side. When you get to the other side, then you will turn it, you will notch it and turn it inside. So the same thing applicable to the back pattern. I will stitch in my darts. For the front darts, this is my bust point, so I will just be coming down by 1 inch. I forgot to do this when we were cutting, so now I'm marking my darts. That is standard measurement. I'm using 4 inches. Then this is my nipple point. Here is my nipple point, so I'll be coming down by 1 inch from my nipple point. So from that side, this place that I marked is the 1 inch I came in with. Then I'll be marking half of an inch at the both side. Then you slant your hands towards the point that you came down with. Just gently connect it and make sure you slant your hand. Then the same thing, we're going to take half inch at the both side. Then you connect it to that point. Then you notch it downward like this. So that's for the back dart. Then for the trouser, now I'm done stitching those places that I told us that we'll be stitching. The front and the back dart, I have stitched it. Then here is the facing that I told us about. The next thing I will be notching my facing. I'll just notch it like this so to make it lay flat. I'm done with that. For the So I'm done with that. Let's put that aside. So the down part, and this is the back. So I will just take it like this. I will be taking one front with one back like this. The first thing you do, you stitch in the 1.5 that we mark inward before our notch. So when you get to the notch area, you stop from the notch area, then you just cuff your hand inside. When you cuff your hand inside, you have to stitch the pocket round like this. So when you get to the second notch here, then you come inside again. When you come inside, you continue your stitching until you get to the ankle line. So after done with that, you are going to place the front crotch on the back crotch extension like so. Then you open another stitch from here, then you stitch it from this place till the ankle line. So I will show us before attaching it to the upper part, so we see the outcome. Now I've stitched the front and back shoulders together. As you can see, I have stitched the front and the back shoulders together. So the next thing to do with this upper part now, do it like this. Then you now take your measurements. I will first measure my bust circumference measurement. That's 38. That 38 now, let's take 38 from here, 38 to this place. This is 38. So whatever remains from this place will be our sewing allowance. So I have 4 inches here. That 4 inches divided by 2. So it will be 2 inches at the both sides. If you remember, we added 2 inches to our fabric when we were cutting. We added 2 inches to our fabric when we were cutting. So that is what's left now. So at the waist side, my waist is 34. So I'll be marking it like this. That is 34 divided by 2. I got 17. That 17 now this is 17 I marked. So I'll now place my tape measure on that place that I marked. Whatever remain here, I'll be dividing it into 2. So now here I will be marking like this. Then for this side, you mark the same thing. So after done with that, you just stitch this place down, then you stitch the other place down. That is what I'm going to be doing now. So after done with that, I'll be stitching the front panel of my trouser together with the back. You know, I've stitched each legs apart. I've stitched the 2 legs separate, as you can see, but now we have to join it together. So what I will be doing, I will take this front part with this front part like this. Here is the front part and this is the front part. They will be on top each other like this. So as it is, just hold this seam line, then place the other seam line on it. Yes, but make sure the back side is with the other back side, so you won't make unnecessary mistake. Like this one now. Here is the back side. So at this back side that we are going to put zipper, just measure in 8 inches or 7 inches. Depends on how long your zipper is or how long you want your zipper to be. So for this tutorial, I'll be using 8 inches. So I've notched that 8 inches. So from that 8 inches now, you could see I notch it inside up to half of an inch. So I will start stitching. I will open my stitch from this place downward like this. Then one thing that very important, make sure that the 2 stitch at this side must align with each other. So now I will stitch this place together, then I will continue stitching until I get to the front parts. You know, our zipper is going to be at the back, so you continue stitching like that, like this, till you get to this place. So when I'm done with that, I will come and show us before stitching the upper part with my damp parts. That is what I'll be doing now. I'll go and stitch the both side, then stitch the damp parts. Let me show us what I was trying to explain. This is the back. Here is the back side. If you look at it, this is the place that I notched. This is the notched. This is the space that I notched for the zipper. So now the next thing now is to join the front, the upper parts with the damp parts. Here is our upper parts. I have seam inside the both side. So the next thing now is to look at this notch at the front. Hope you can see the notch here. Then it must be aligned with this stitch, with this seam line. Just place it on the seam line like this. So the next thing now, you will stitch it. You just stitch it round like this. You place this as zipper allowance, just place it on this edge. Make sure that it's equal. Then you start your stitching like that. You stitch it round to the other edge. This is the second edge. Till you get to the other edge, as you can see, it's equal. That is what we need. We have to do that round now. So after done with that, then I will be fixing my zipper before bringing it. I'll fix my zipper before bringing it. So by the time I bring it, our jumpsuit is ready. Here is the outlook of our jumpsuit. As you can see it on Miss Carrie's. As you can see, it's very beautiful. This is our V-neck. You could see the effect of that I was telling us when we were cutting. As you can see the effect there. Then you can see everything very okay and beautiful on her. See, let's see the back side also. That is it on Miss Carrie. I appreciate you guys for staying tuned. Thank you very much for watching this channel. If you have viewed this channel for the first time, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe and support the channel. And also put on the notification bell, so whenever we upload a new video, you'll be among the first people to be notified. Thank you very much. Bye bye.